Chapter 6, Lesson 3, Variables and Expressions. Our content target, students will understand that evaluating algebraic expressions can involve multiple steps. Our language target, students will demonstrate this understanding by evaluating algebraic expressions when given the value of the variable. So algebraic expressions contain at least one variable and at least one operation. For example, the expression n plus 2 represents the sum of an unknown number and 2. Any letter can be used as a variable. So the letter n is a variable. It's a number that we have to find out. The letter x is often used as a variable. To avoid confusion with the symbol x, there are other ways to show multiplication. So all three of these are ways to show multiplication. You can use the dot in between the number and the variable, which means 5 times x. You can use parentheses around it, so which means also 5 times x. Or the one that you'll see quite a bit in this chapter will be 5x. When you have a number and a letter side by side, it means to multiply. The variables in an expression can be replaced with any number. Once the variables have been replaced, you can evaluate or find the value of an algebraic expression. So in the expression 16 plus b, if b equals 25. So I write my expression 16 plus b, and up here it says that b equals 25. So I'm going to take out the letter and put in the value. So I have 16 plus b. I'm going to take out my variable and I'm going to put in the value for it, which is 25. So then I add 25 plus 16 is 11, carry my 1, which is 41. The big thing here is taking out the variable and putting in the value. Then you can solve the expression. Let's look at this expression, x minus y, if x equals 64 and y equals 27. So again, if I write my expression, x minus y, I'm going to take out my x variable, x equals 64. So I take out the x and put in 64. Minus y. Well, y is 27. So I take out my y value and I put in 27. Now I can solve this expression by subtracting 64 minus 27, regroup. 14 minus 7 is 7, 5 minus 2 is 3. So 37 is our value. Evaluate 6x if x equals 1/2. So again, 6x is the same as 6 times the variable x. So I keep my 6, and I'm going to multiply that by the value of x, and x equals 1/2. So I take away the variable, I put in the value, 1/2. So when I multiply 6 over 1 times 1/2, 6 times 1 is 6, 1 times 2 is 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So there are many steps to do these different problems. You have to take it one step at a time. So here it says to evaluate each expression if a equals 6, b equals 4, and c equals 1/3. So in letter A, I have a plus 8. So I'm going to take away my a. A is 6, so I bring down the 6 plus 8, and that's 14. Letter B, A minus B. So A again, I take away the A. I put in a 6. Minus B, B is 4. So I take away my B. I put in the number 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. In letter C, I have A times B. The dot, remember, make sure you have that meaning and multiply. So again, A is 6, so I take out my A value and put in 6. Times B, so I take out my B variable and I put in a 4 because B is 4. And multiply 6 times 4, 6, 12, 18, 24. The last one is 9 times C, or 9C. So again, 9 stays the same. I'm multiplying that by the value of C. C is 1/3. So I take out my variable, I put in the value. And I multiply. 9 times 1 is 9. 1 times 3 is 3. And 9 divided by 3 is 3. So here's a multi-step expression. Here I have to evaluate or solve for 5t plus 4. So 5t plus 4 is the same as 5 times t plus 4. So t equals 3. So I take out my variable t and I put in 3 and then rewrite my expression. Then I think back to my lesson 2. We talked about order of operations. PEMDAS. And I know that I have multiply and add, that multiplication is before addition. So I do my multiplication first. 5 times 3 is 15. And then I add the 4. 15 plus 4 is 19. This is why we always want to remember our order of operations. Always keep those handy. Evaluate 4x to the second power if x is 1/8. So again, I rewrite my expression. 4 times x to the second power, which is going to simply mean 4 times x. If x is 1/8, I take away the variable, I put in the value, which is 1/8 to the second power. So I have to remember my order of operations again. Here's my PEMDAS. There are no parentheses. There is an exponent. So I have to do the exponent first. My exponent is 1/8 to the second power. That's 1/8 times 1/8. 1/8 is my base number, 2 is my exponent. I multiplied 1/8 twice, which is 1/64. So I have 4 times 1/64, which is 4/64, or 1/16. See how there are many sometimes parts to do. So we have to make sure that we keep those in order. So here we'll try a couple of these and you'll do one. Let's do letter E, 2d minus 5. So again, is 2d minus 5. D, as we can see up here, is 12. So 2 times d minus 5 2 times, I take away the d, put in 12, and subtract 5. Order of operations. I know that I have to multiply before I subtract. 2 times 12 is 24. Minus 5 is 19.